My name is Max Stein, and I love video games.
I'm the Mega Buck. I really love video games.
My name is Raph, and I also love video games.
Hey friends, Benny here, and video games daisuki desu.
I should have done a drum roll for Mr. Venicore. Welcome back.
Yay!
We missed
And
you, buddy.
you,
Yahoo.
listener and viewer, welcome back, or maybe for the first time, to the Game Treasure podcast, where we discuss treasured video games of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Warning, the Game Treasure podcast is not for children or anyone with a brain for that matter. Today, we are going to be discussing the Switch 2. Holy Switch. That announcement made me almost switch my pants.
Jesus.
All right, I'm out of here.
And with-
Rap's gone.
since the Switch 2 is, just around the corner, it's kind of like
really
the
is.
Switch is in the grave. The Switch is over. The Switch 2 games are going to have new carts. So we're going to do a little mini carousel, just talking about our favorite games that we like to play for the Switch, be it first party or not for some
okay.
of us. You
Cool.
know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, I do.
Very
But
nice.
before we do that, let us please go back in time with this week's Retro Zone. Buck,
Let's go back in time. I'm going to be really impressed if any of you have played this game.
okay.
Made by Konami
Mm-hmm.
in, forgot to write down the year, 1996. What if Doom and Diablo had a baby?
I'm trying to see if I can guess.
You can't guess.
Yeah,
What
I
is
don't know
it?
what this is.
Doom and Diablo had a baby. That would be Konami's 1996 amazing PS1 game, Project Overkill.
The fuck is this?
I feel like I
saw
remember
this
that.
in our used bin at GameStop plenty of times, but I've never played it.
This
Never heard
is
of this.
this is a real gem of a PS1 game. It's isometric view a la
Okay.
Diablo, which is why I say that, but
Mhm.
it's a shooter. It's Doom. It's like Smash TV or Doom, but in an
Oh.
isometric view.
Oh, I
Cool.
see. With blood
Whoa.
and guts and
Oh, yeah.
violence and
Okay.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
Whoa,
It's
dude.
a really cool game. Health packs are super important, as is ammo a la Doom, because you have a melee, but it sucks. So it's exactly like that. One of the really cool aspects about this game was it had 4 playable characters, but a la Ninja Turtles 1 for the NES, some of them were better than others. And if you lost one, if one of them died, you had to select one of the other 3. You lost that
Oh.
character
Interesting.
as an available person to play as.
Neat.
This game looks kick ass.
Yeah,
this
it's really
looks
cool. It's really cool.
Yeah.
There's
It's-
lots of
yeah.
Sorry, I mean
No.
there's lots of isometric shooter indie games nowadays.
Yeah.
There's what's that? That game where you're playing as the escaping gorilla, and then Hotline Miami,
Oh, yeah.
and a couple other
Enter
ones.
the Gungeon. Yeah. all that
Right.
stuff,
Well, yeah. But this is 96. You said
Yeah.
this looks
mhm.
kick ass for
Heyday of the
96.
PS1.
And you're
Oh, yeah.
right. I have never seen or heard of
The
this.
aesthetics of this remind me of Fallout 1 and 2. but
Yes.
obviously not a
100%. If you ever
point
play
and
the old Fallouts and the graphical style, it is 100% a similar graphical style.
It's really cool.
Yep. It's
Wow.
a good one. It's a gem. It's
This looks like a solid 7.
Oh, yeah.
maybe
That's
even
game
more.
treasure.
It's a good game.
Yeah, this looks kick ass.
Yeah.
Project
How
Overkill.
does it hold up in today's day, in your opinion, Buck?
This one actually holds up pretty good because the level design is really good, and the difficulty is just enough there that there's a bit of a challenge. I mean, you really have to watch your ammo. You really have to hunt for health packs. It is old school Doom, so I'd say it still holds up pretty well, actually.
Nice.
I'm only seeing one character right now, but I
Hmm.
do love his model. It's like this big hulking guy with these big green shoulder pads,
Yep.
marching through this. It looks
Yeah, and there's
kick-ass,
another.
dude.
There's like a marine. I think there's a chick marine, and there's 4.
Yeah, it looks like the Doomslayer a little.
This is
yeah.
an excellent game to add to your collection if you
Yeah.
subscribe to RetroGameTreasure.com.
Mhm.
Let's see. This is definitely a shooter. This
Yep.
is definitely an M for mature, I presume.
Yep.
Yep.
Animated violence, animated blood and gore.
For sure. But not first person.
No, it's definitely not. It's definitely not.
Well,
when
go.
you started throwing out the descriptors, I'm like, is he about to say Hexen?
Ooh, I
But
Oh
love
then,
Hexen.
wow.
no, Konami.
Konami,
It
yeah.
can't be
Yeah.
Hexen.
Right.
Yeah, nice dude.
Can't believe
Mm.
has there been sequels to this? Do you know?
Ooh, I don't think
Not
so.
to put your irons to the fire, but yeah,
I
interesting.
don't
'Cause
believe
why
so.
not?
Not
This
that I
looks
know
kick
of.
ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Anyhow, go now to retrogametreasure.com. Select PS1 as one of the game or consoles that you collect for, and
Yeah.
then shooters. Make sure you got that M for mature checked. You might get yourself a copy of Project Overkill for the PS1. A forgotten gem. Go now.
Yes.
We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to talk some Switch. I'm trying to do more shit puns.
Beautiful. I
Yeah.
can't wait. What a
All
great
right.
one to come back to.
Here we come. What a press release that was that Nintendo held. We talked about it briefly in our previous episode. Some of the things that we were most excited for, we sort of grazed over. But there's a lot of shit that Nintendo announced that we didn't talk about in great detail, and we're gonna do that now. Gentlemen, do you have opening salvos that you want to deliver? Do you have an overall thought? Because I expressed mine, which is like, this is one of the greatest. I was literally crying at the point of Donkey Kong, but just
Yeah.
loving pretty much everything they said on there. On that, I don't
Hey,
know. What did you guys feel strength wise in comparison
Did,
to other?
I'll open.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Hey, Buck, remember when we watched the Nintendo Direct from the 6th floor of the Gigo in Akihabara in Tokyo? Because I remember.
Yeah, it was
That's
so
pretty
great.
gnarly.
We had just
We're
got done with the game of
standing-
Dodonpachi. It was great.
We realized we had just got playing Dodonpachi 2 on the retro floor, and we realized it had started, but it was too loud, so we went up a floor, and then there were music games. That was also too loud, so we went up another floor to like the very top of the
Yeah.
Gigo, which was this arcade,
So
and
funny.
we sat
Oh,
there
we were
at
at
the
the
top
hay
of
for
this
that one.
escalator. The hay, excuse me, for like 30-40 minutes just watching this on Buck's phone.
So good.
Man, what a memory. What a great memory.
Forever and ever. It makes the Switch 2 even better.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we really, both of us kind of nerded out over a bit was that mouse-ish capability of the Joy-Cons.
Yes.
The fact-
See,
because
yeah.
my brain went to all the things that they and indie developers can do with that.
Raph, how about you?
Honestly, yeah, that mouse capability kind of stood out to me as well. Just because, well, there was two things that really stood out to me at the Nintendo Direct. One that was kind of funny to me, but yeah, I would love the idea of actually being able to play it like a first-person shooter on the Switch and not have it feel like shit. Because it
Right.
generally does feel like
It's
shit
true.
on the Switch.
Well, most
Um,
consoles they kind of do because it has
yeah.
to be an aim assist kind of situation, right?
It's not
Yes.
designed. I don't think the controller, even like the analog sticks, are really well designed for first-person shooters. But the
Couldn't
other
agree
thing
more.
was the chat feature when they showed the
So
screen
weird.
share. Even in their
So
own
weird.
Nintendo Direct, Nintendo couldn't get a solid frame rate on this thing. It just started chopping up, and I thought that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen.
Did you see immediately already Hori, who does a lot of first
Yes.
person or third
Yeah.
person referrals? They put out a version of the camera that's a PD Piranha plant. It's like
Yes,
they
I
already
love
kicked your
Hori.
ass,
Hori's
Nintendo.
fantastic, and
You put out the
Yeah.
ghetto version of the camera, and one of your partners put out the good one.
yeah,
Fantastic.
that little piranha plant looks pretty sick. Honestly, I love the like. I mean, it is one more peripheral you have to buy, but I think that's kind of cool. Like sticking yourself into Mario Party. That sounds fun, you know?
I want to stick myself into Jackbox.
Ooh, yeah.
I will
Let
tell
me
you
put
this.
some order in here. All right.
Okay,
So we got off on a tangent. Official release date of this bad boy is June 5th. And it is going to cost $449.
My
Well,
guess
you
was
guys
$399.
feel
I was pretty close.
I was actually expecting $4.99. This is actually $50 less than what I expected. So I'm thinking that's a net win as far as the console. We'll talk about the games in a minute, though.
Yeah.
You can get that Mario Kart bundle with the new Mario Kart for $4.99. In fact,
That's a pretty good deal
Kinda
because
cool.
it's like an
Yeah.
$80 game. $80 game, Jesus.
Yeah, that's
criminy.
what I was getting at.
It's an $80 game.
I
Mr.
think the
Venicore,
pricing
what do
for
you
the
think
game
about this
is-
price point?
for the games, or
The
oh, sorry.
449 price point. I was with Buck. I was at that 399 price point as well. I thought if it was if it was a $500 console, I think that would be overpriced. But if we're just strictly talking about the console itself, I think we're in a good spot. However, I am still a little miffed that they are charging for the welcome game, the sweet
That's
Yeah.
so dumb.
little
That is so
welcome game.
stupid.
Yeah.
So strange.
Not a big
So
fan. In
stupid.
fact,
I'm gonna charge you
Reggie,
for a tech demo.
our buddy Reggie, former president of Nintendo,
FMA, right?
he actually put out a thread on his X account about the story of how Wii Sports came to be,
Mm.
and how that there was some internal conflict over that being bundled for the Wii U, et cetera, or the Wii, excuse me. Um, but yeah, I think we have I don't think they're done. I think there's going to be more surprises around the corner, and good, bad, and ugly. So looking forward to seeing.
I'm paying it. I don't give a fuck.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
buying this bad
yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
I think
well,
I
the
put in my
thing-
notes here. It's not a day one buy for me, but it's definitely an eventual buy for me. Like
That's
I'm
because it's
not
going to be hard to buy it day one.
exactly.
but
Yeah, I'm
other
not going to
than
buy
that-
this one. Yeah.
So
If I can
what?
get my media setup done in our new great room at the new house, we've got this pass through in our fireplace for an HDMI cable that just comes right. It's a beautiful setup. If I can get that mounted and looking good, I might just get one for the kids as a summer, like a summer present, and we'll
Cute.
just Mario Kart it up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So some of the things that we are going to be getting with that price point: a bigger screen, 7.9 inches, 1080p, and some games on the dock will reportedly run 4K and up to 120 frames per second.
That's
I'll
cool.
believe it when I see it. I mean, oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's what it seems. Yeah, the consensus online is people were like, I can't. There's too many the Pokemon games and Zelda. You promised Zelda would look good in the commercials, and then I put it on my TV and it looks bad. But I don't know.
It still looks like Zelda, though, so I'm pretty happy with it.
exactly.
Yeah,
I hope and
yeah.
pray that it runs 4K up to 120 on the first party titles, like on Donkey Kong or something.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
It's more powerful than a PS4 Pro, so it's right in between that generational gap.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
lacking too far behind the
No.
big boys.
Right.
But, it's not
Mhm.
going to give you that true 4K experience, I don't think.
So those new Joy-Cons we are talking about, $90. They snap in with magnets now. They're
Mhm.
slightly bigger. The Joy-Con stick itself is slightly bigger as well.
All good things.
It also
All good
uses
things
a
to me, yeah.
touchless magnetic gate, which makes it. It supposedly will make it so you don't get that Joy-Con drift.
Right.
Yeah.
People are talking shit I see about the mouse functionality, but I'm with you guys where I'm like,
Yeah.
that sounds
I think
cool
it's
to me.
cool.
I don't see, I don't know. They're like, oh, they're going to do one Mario Party game that has it, and that's it. And it's just like, what about
No,
the
that's
indie
the
games,
camera.
though?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the camera. The camera's
Yeah.
going to have like one
That-
game and
yeah.
an indie game.
Play
that-
WarioWare, baby. Let's
Yeah.
go.
So speaking of which, that Nintendo branded camera is $49.99,
Of course.
and it just looks like shit.
Stupid.
It,
It's a fucking
it looks like dog shit in the press release. I'm not gonna lie; it sounded like dog shit. In
It'll
the
look
press
really
release.
good next to your Alarmo.
Right? Yes.
Good
So
I forgot
Nintendo,
about that thing.
Everyone
know,
did.
they did mention that like Buck said, people are already developing compatible cameras for it. So don't worry, there will be, I guess, cooler cameras that you can get, maybe ones that look better. And maybe there'll be some way to plug in an external mic. I don't remember if they said there was going to be a jack on the new Pro controller or not, but so you don't have to use like the onboard
Mm.
microphone that's like in the console that's probably like 15 feet away from you. or
Yeah, I
something
think they
like
said it had all that. I think it said it also supports other cameras
Good.
too, not just theirs.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's
Yeah.
why all the other people are developing.
I wonder
for it.
if this is going to have any sort of like, I know that like a lot of consoles now will have like Twitch integration, so you can like stream directly to Twitch like through your console. I wonder if it's
No,
going to
that's
do
my
that, or-
point. I think this has been Nintendo's retort to that. Is like, no, we got it. It's like, no, you fucking don't. Like, you like,
No, you
we
never
got
had
it.
in this
right
regard,
now they have
please.
that app that you can use
It's
that you're supposed to
software.
like log in with your phone app to talk to
Yeah.
your friends over. It's like you said, like Discord.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
do it.
right.
Cut a deal with
Yeah.
them, you fucking goofballs. You know
They're
what I mean? Like, what are you guys doing?
so hard. And I think I mentioned this in the last episode. They're trying so hard now to like bring Nintendo into the online gaming space. Like it traditionally something that they've been so bad at.
Yeah,
and
Nintendo doesn't know how to do it. They've
it
never
look
figured
exactly
it out.
right. They look like they're trying to push that to the forefront here, but I don't
Yeah.
know how well it's going to actually work. How it
I
is
think
on
it's-
day one, we'll see.
I think it's because they want other games that are on things like Steam and other
Right.
consoles to
Yeah.
not be left out of this console.
True.
Because
true.
it's not where
Mm.
Nintendo consoles shine. They're the ones that spawned all of the resurfacing of all the indie games that we
Yeah,
get now,
yeah.
right? That was them in the best of ways.
But also, it does dovetail pretty nicely with their overall aesthetic of being like, have fun with your friends, play Mario Party, or
Gamers don't
Smash
have
Brothers,
friends.
Or Nintendo fans aren't gamers, Buck.
Oh, that's fair.
Got him. Anyways, yeah, so much so are they leaning in that all the controllers have their own. Man, every time I hear C button, I just want to make a clitoris joke.
Me
every
and
single
Kyle, we were
time.
watching it, and it goes, and it has a C button, and we were like,
It has a C button.
Oh
my.
Yeah.
We looked
It
at
was-
each other like
it was
just
that
cracked
scene.
up.
It was that scene from Wayne's World. What's the difference between Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man? Really, she has a bow on her
bow.
head. That's it. Get right out of town.
It's apparently you press this button and it's going to be a one-stop shop to turn on that camera and audio to hook up with your friends. It's got screen sharing as well, and you don't have to be playing the same game to do the screen sharing. So in practice, it sounds cool. You know, if you
Yeah.
wanted to be like, I'm playing Zelda, where are you? I'm here. But yeah, it just kind of looks like dog shit.
You already talked about it. It's Discord. And all of us that have been
Yeah.
around and been gaming for 20, 30 years
Yeah.
went through TeamSpeak, Ventrilo, every precursor to what Discord's amazing. We all, it's
Yeah.
they finally did it,
Yeah.
I will. I do like what you mentioned about, like, let's say, Mac, you and I had a Switch 2 each, and you had a game that I didn't have. Certain games can actually be played together if we're in the same space like that, and I think that's kind of cool. It's kind of like Steam Screen Share, I suppose, but I don't know if it's going to work the same way.
It's Nintendo's game share. So
Yeah.
I wanted to first say that this thing comes with 256 gigs of storage and requires new beefier SD cards, the micro ones. So the ones that you have in your Switch 2 or Switch right now, you cannot just keep those and put them over into your Switch 2.
Yeah.
You got to get new ones because they have a higher bit rate, I believe. But 256 gigs as a starter is not bad for a games console that you're probably going to be loading indie games into mostly, I'd
Right,
imagine. So it's like, that's a pretty good, like, standard number, I feel like, for stuff like the Steam Deck or like any Apple device, like the iPad or something. 256 gigs. I was impressed.
Maybe. Even indie games
Yeah.
have gotten pretty big now.
Some of them.
Yeah.
I feel like if you buy physical for your mainline copies and then just let your digital library be, your indie stuff, I think that 256 will go far.
Let's
Fair.
talk about that, actually, because I've heard some rumors about the physical copies of these games. I've heard that there actually isn't anything preloaded on there; that they're more like Steam keys on a cartridge.
Do we want to be like the guys who reiterate the thing that you can Google really easily, or
I don't know
guess,
about it. I haven't heard anything about
I've
it.
heard
really.
a lot about this recently.
Some games, which has been done before in the case of like LA Noire on the Switch, it was too large for the Switch game packs.
Oh.
Some games have a note on them that says they are not a game card, they are a game key, which is basically like a Ghost in the Shell. You pop it in and it goes, you can download this now, and you download it to your system, and that game key has to be in your system when you play the game. That is not the case for the bulk of the games for the Switch.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I had heard, and when I looked it up, I really was finding a lot of conflicting information about it. But yeah, that
on the
makes
internet,
a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I know,
you
right?
read
That's
still
around.
Crazy.
What a
There's
crazy
information.
fucking
That's why-
concept.
Anyhow, the game sharing function was what I wanted to get to, because you mentioned about playing games with your friends in the same room, and they improved upon that kind of. So you can it's called Game Share, Nintendo Game Share, and you can like lend out a digital version of a game that you own to friends or family. So if someone's in the same room with you, instead of having to give them a Joy-Con so that they can play on your Switch, you can like lend them a copy. And it's like something like a 48-hour time limit until it like comes back to you, quote unquote. But
Oh, good. So you don't have to hunt down Justin Miller to get your copy of Sonic and Knuckles back.
I literally, as soon as it happened, I went, "Well, how the fuck do you get him back?" And then it said,
Great
"Just
story
kidding, they'll
there.
return to you." And I was like, "Okay, good."
I ended up with Home Alone for the Genesis. That's a great game too. It's okay.
That's really funny. But yeah, between that and they have like digital like game cards now that they talk about that you buy. Their whole digital thing works differently. But I don't know. Do you guys have any opinion one way or the other on this and the way they're approaching this?
I think it's too
Not
confusing.
particularly.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
neither. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's too confusing.
It's not. Steam
Let's
has done this
see.
forever, and it has also been fairly confusing up until about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So let's
yeah.
talk about the good shit, which is the
Mhm.
fucking games.
Oh yeah.
So first of all, the carts are going to be red and they're still going to taste bad. Thank
Hell
God.
Yes.
Great job.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
First thing I'm
goodness.
doing
We
is
did
popping
it,
one in my
fam.
mouth.
We did it.
But man,
That's the
we
first thing I said to Buck. I'm like, are they going to also taste awful? I need to know this.
wouldn't it be funny if
Because-
they pivoted 180 and they're like, actually, they taste good now.
Actually, they're
And
candy.
they're like, oh shit, that's why they're
In
so
fact,
more
every
expensive.
game has its own distinctive flavor.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mario
man,
is
hell
like
yeah.
red cherry.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong
Yeah.
is banana.
Yeah.
So-
Pokemon
So-
X and Y, they're two different flavors. You need both of them.
You need both of them.
so
I gotta
can
have
only
both. I gotta
perceive them
taste.
both
I
at
gotta
once.
taste that Y, baby.
Yeah.
not that it is any indication of things to come, but like we said earlier, Mario Kart is apparently going to cost $79.99.
Yeah, $80. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have this. This must stem from the SD cards just being higher quality, like they have a higher bit rate, or they are larger, even though they physically are the same size, and thus they are needing to charge more for them. But if the games all cost $80, what do we think about, or at least the first party titles?
I was gonna say they've also claimed that it depends on developer. If it's an indie title, it's still gonna be like $40. If it's a AA title, it's gonna be $60.
What
That's what they've
if
claimed.
all the AAA Nintendo games, the next Zelda, for example,
will.
costs $80?
Oh, they
Yeah,
will.
yeah.
They will.
Okay,
That was
so-
also the way of backpedaling into that.
Yeah.
Let's look at a little bit of history here, and Buck can back me up on this. Back in the 90s, if you bought a brand new Nintendo game, you were paying $49 to $59.99.
Mhm.
Nintendo games have hardly ever had an increase over time due to inflation. I remember when the Nintendo 64 came out, there were 80, 90, even the first Christmas that the Nintendo 64 was out, Shadows of the Empire was a $100 game at Walmart in certain parts of America.
Yeah, okay.
When you do the
Wow.
inflation math on that's still far more expensive
Not even close.
than they're charging right now.
Yeah.
I really think that for AAA titles that there has been very little price increase over the last 30 years. I'm a math guy, I'm a financial guy. It doesn't bother me at all because I really feel like, you're just getting back to the average, really, if you want to be
Right.
honest. Doesn't mean I love paying an extra, 10 or $20 for a game sometimes, but let's be honest. I mean, you're going to go out of your way and pay $99 for that digital deluxe edition with some DLC that you might not ever play. So, I mean, what's
him.
the point in what's the point in making a big stink about it? If you
Yep.
love Zelda, you're gonna buy the new Zelda game. You're gonna come up with the extra $10.
It's a media
That's just
thing.
how life is.
I remember
guess
paying
from-
$73 for Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo at Toys R Us.
In
I mean-
what year? In what
Yeah,
year was
right.
this?
That was 1994
When
or
both
93.
Toys
yeah.
R Us and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtle in Time were in the wild.
Exactly.
That
was,
time.
That was way more than $100 is today. Way more.
So
I will say that for me, it probably means I am going to buy less first-party games, but I kind of already don't really buy first-party Nintendo games.
precisely. That
Yeah.
was going to be my thought
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes, you
There you
do.
go.
You don't
No,
buy
well,
Mario.
few,
and you don't
not
buy.
really.
They only make
We'll
a
get-
few, though. That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
quality over quantity with
Well,
them.
like,
It always has.
well,
I don't
been.
even
what
own.
he's saying. Yeah, he'll
I
own
don't
two
even own
quality
Mario.
games.
Yeah, one or
You are
two
saying the
games,
same
maybe,
thing.
You're missing
So
out,
let's
by
get
the way.
into
Mario
the
Odyssey is
games.
amazing.
Good game. Yeah.
Oh, Odyssey's so good.
Shut up, gentlemen. So
Order! I say.
first of all, Donkey Kong Bonanza
Hell
looks
yeah.
like it is going to be so fucking good. I love
Yeah.
the fact that they are leaning into a lost characteristic of Donkey Kong, which is that he breaks shit.
Yeah.
Like
Shame
they've been
Raph's not
so
gonna buy it.
they've been
Yeah.
so obsessed. I'm just going to slap you. They've been so obsessed with him being acrobatic as a monkey,
Mm.
but it's just like the first game that he's in, he's like famous for just breaking shit and throwing shit, and also he's a gorilla, not a. So it's like they're supposed to be like strong, you know what I mean? And like he hasn't gotten his own game that wasn't a platformer in so long. And then when he's like in like Mario Party or in like the Mario Kart, like he can't really caricaturize himself. Like he may be like in Mario Kart he's heavy, or like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Even in Smash Brothers, it's just like they haven't been able to rebrand Donkey Kong, I guess would be the way to put it. And like, God damn it! First of all, I love that new design. I love that movie design. I think it looks cute and fresh,
Yeah.
and nice, and like the levels and just like all the things they teased where you're like picking up chunks of the level and throwing it at other parts of the level.
Mhm.
There's 3D
That's cool as heck.
platforming.
That's cool as heck,
so
man.
cool, man. That's
Yeah.
it's like such a long way from like the last 3D platformer for him was fucking Donkey Kong 64, which is just
I was just about to say that. I think Donkey Kong 64, sorry fans of that game, but I think it is to blame why it's been so long since we had a Donkey Kong game like this, and why they pivoted back to Donkey Kong Country style. When I mean, look at it. What happened next? The GameCube, right? Donkey Konga is what you
Right.
got on the GameCube, and it
Yeah.
took
That was on the
until
GameCube?
yeah. And
Yeah.
so it took
Wow.
until the Wii before we got Donkey Kong back in that aspect, and it was Donkey Kong Country style again.
right. They
Tropical
were like, oh
freeze.
fuck, we're sorry, we'll go back to, and it's just like, oh come on.
Right, you can do it. This looks like it's going to be great. I'm
Right.
excited for this one more than any other
It really
title I
does.
think they
Me
mentioned.
too.
This might
It's
be the
coming
one that I
July
actually buy.
17th. It's like right there.
I
It is
cannot believe
very
that-
soon.
I really thought that they were going to announce this console, and it's like coming November 20th. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Me
when's
too.
this console come out? In like 2.5 weeks.
That's crazy.
Oh my
What?
god, I gotta get money really quickly. I gotta.
Beautiful. Beautiful. When
Um,
has a price of something ever stopped an American from buying something? Charge
God
that shit.
damn it.
He's not
I-
wrong.
He's not wrong. Yep. Kirby's Air Ride is getting a new game.
That's-
Not a remake. I
that's
think
wild.
it's like a new dude. That game is from like 2002
Again,
or
GameCube.
something.
Heard of
like
this.
yeah,
GameCube.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's
so
go.
long ago.
And the only one we ever got. Never got a sequel. Never got a DS port. Never got
Why?
I'll be honest, I
Wrap-
never played Air Ride. Is it
I-
a racing game?
It's a racing game, and the way that it works is that there's like a push and pull system almost of like your locomotion. So you press a button, and Kirby or whoever you play as will do like this squat, and a little bar at the bottom of your screen will begin to like charge up. But while he's in this squat, you will slow down, like your momentum. But then when you release the squat button, he'll go, and the amount that like his velocity is based on how long you were charging that bar. So if you like want to do a tight turn, for example, in this game, you like swing right and then lay down on the thing, and he squats, and you like
You drift,
slow
yeah.
down, and then that bar builds and builds and builds,
Ugh.
and then you let go and you zoom and you get going, and then besides that you sort of find like a rhythm of like squat go,
Yeah.
squat
It's
go,
just a,
squat
it's just
go.
an odd choice, I think, for a release title, because if they're harping so hard and bundling the new Mario Kart with it, why are we also
Getting
you
another
know,
racing game.
I know why.
Because I'll
do
buy
another
both.
racing game?
You know why?
Yeah,
I
Because
won't.
they want all of the F-Zero fans to storm Nintendo HQ.
that's true.
You gave us
It
a
did.
new Kirby Air Ride before you gave us a new F-Zero. Give the people what they want.
I don't know, man. It's such a cult classic for me. Kirby. It's like the one.
Yeah.
I have a Japanese copy of that game,
Same.
and it's like one of the very few GameCube games that I own still. And it's
Mhm.
just so few people have heard of it or
Yeah.
played it, and it's just like, oh,
It's
got
very
such an
pricey
interesting
now.
locomotion thing. It's
It's
so good.
not. There's a barrier to entry to own that game because the GameCube version of Kirby's Air Ride is over $100.
There's
How about that? Wow.
there's so much more. There's fucking Elden Ring is coming to Switch, and it's like it's the tarnished edition, so it's coming with the Tree expansion pack
Cool.
Makes
already in
sense.
it.
Yeah.
Which is nice because then they're about to release that new like battle royale adjacent mode that we talked about before. Speaking of From Software, apparently there's a new game called The Dusk Bloods, which is just going to be a Switch fucking exclusive that just looks like the new Bloodborne.
Who saw that coming?
It's Bloodborne too.
No one.
No,
Yeah.
Huh? Like it
Yeah.
was just like, what is Nintendo? What do you do? Like you don't like
Hold my
hold
beer.
up. You save some of this stuff. This is crazy.
we
there's
don't
a-
gotta watch this.
There's a new Hyrule Warriors game that's based off the events from Tears of the Kingdom.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is
there's
cool.
that is kind of cool. There's that new Welcome Tour game that you guys mentioned that isn't built into the, and I was
So
like,
stupid.
was that to like save like the developer cost on, like, because they're like, they know they worked hard on this game, we can't possibly include that in the price of the Switch 2. You're going to want to buy Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour and play it. I don't think I will.
I got nothing.
Deltarune's getting its new chapters on the Switch 2.
That's
Hollow
cool.
Knight Silk Song just said, by the
Finally.
way, we're coming to the Switch 2.
Yeah.
By the way, it's going to be on, and it was just like, hold on, what?
Did
It
you
flashed by the
casually just-
screen. Yeah, and it was just like, oh, that game that thousands of people have been waiting for with bated breath for like 10 years or something.
Yeah,
like,
so good.
By the way, it's coming. The new Hades 2 is going to be on the Switch 2. Final Fantasy 7 Remake is going to be on the Switch 2.
Cool.
Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition is going to be on the
Now
Switch
they're catching up on all the titles that the Switch couldn't handle,
Right,
and
yeah.
putting out like
Yes.
definitive HD edition kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Mhm.
Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, the fucking Star Wars Outlaws, Borderlands 4, which is going to be a new game, is going to come out apparently on the Switch 2.
Cool.
Enter the Gungeon's getting a sequel that's got a redone art style. They announced upgraded versions of Switch titles that you can just basically pay for an upgrade. That includes Metroid Prime 4 is going to have a Switch and a Switch Pro or Switch 2 version. The Switch 2 one has the mouse aiming with the first person visor.
Yeah.
Which I was like, hell yes.
And it's going to be
dude.
great because that is my
Yeah.
biggest gripe. You guys know my
Exactly.
games that everybody loves
Yeah.
that I don't. Metroid Prime, it was like, stop making me aim with
Exactly.
this stupid thing.
But the Zelda games are both getting upgrades. Mario Party Jamboree is getting new mini games that use the mouse. Kirby Forgotten Lands, just so much. And then they announced the GameCube Online as well. Wind Waker's coming to the Switch Online.
Cool.
One of my favorite Zeldas, F-Zero GX, Soul Calibur 2, which is the one with Link, Luigi's Mansion.
So
Dude,
funny.
I was blown away. I am overall very pleased. I'm going to buy this bad boy as soon as they become available because the pre-orders are already going on, and I bet they're already sold out. I haven't
No, they
checked,
pushed
but
them to May.
no? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, do you guys have anything else you want to say about that Switch 2 before we talk a little bit about the Switch? Yeah, and
I'm
it's
just
let's
excited about the future, honestly, with this.
now hold awake for the dead console that is only
No.
10 years old. No, the Switch. I wanted to talk about the life and times of the Switch and what some of our favorite games are, maybe. I'll do like kind of like a mini carousel. Buck gets it. Thank you. So I'll go first in remembrance of the Switch. May it rest in peace. I'm gonna sell mine as soon as possible.
Oh, no.
I don't know. I can't keep those things. I got to sell it so I can get a little bit of scrap for that new one, baby.
Spoilers, nobody's buying.
Unfortunately, that is very, very true. Man, for me, the best game on the Nintendo Switch is a game that got released basically at its birth, and that's Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Zelda Breath of the Wild is the best Zelda game in my opinion, and I think cracks my top 5 games of all time for me. It just brings so much more to the Zelda franchise. Like if you're a person that somehow, I don't know, didn't play this game because maybe you played Ocarina of Time and somehow didn't like it or something, like just no, you have to give it a chance. Like the cooking mechanics, there you go. The cooking mechanics that they add in Breath of the Wild and just the world itself and the way it all
Breaking up the
fire-
dungeons. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
the fire interacting and making hot air that you can rise on. It's just like, bro, that's just one of the many, many physics interactions that are just absolutely redonkulous in this
Mhm.
game. I'll go on and on about it more on our top 5 games of all time when we hit episode 100 or something.
Nice.
But that's my favorite game for the Switch. I have Super Mario Odyssey kind of as like a close second.
Great game.
It's a great game, and it pays homage to the legacy of Mario in a really touching way. At the very end of it, especially, that brought a tear to my eye. But I use the Switch mostly to play indie titles.
Yeah.
And I think that my favorite indie title to play, or not, I guess this isn't really indie, but third-party title to play on the Switch is Jackbox Games.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that
good,
this
good one.
is the best system to own a Jackbox Party bundle for.
It's fair.
For the obvious reason, which is you can bring it places.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you go to and you don't really need that tiny screen. I mean, he reads the prompts out loud, like, because even if you go to someone's house who doesn't have a Switch, therefore they don't have the dock, therefore you can't put it on a TV. You could still huddle around it, like if you're playing a board game, you know what I mean, and then pay attention to it that way, and you can play on your phones.
Yep.
So honestly, besides like Mario Kart, I think this is the game I play most with it, like in the house. I was really actually quite disappointed in the fact that I really don't own a lot of the first party Switch titles. Like I was just like, man, I don't own Paper Mario and the Origami King, the new Pokemon Snap, WarioWare, Metroid Dread, Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, fucking like the Super Mario RPG remake, like all these. There's many games that I'm disappointed in myself for not owning. So I hope they're on some of your gentlemen's lists. Buck, what do you think would be your favorite Switch game, or maybe like your favorite indie title to play, or something like this?
Yeah, that's the
Or
catch
both.
22, right? Because you literally have to put those in two completely different categories.
Right.
Metroid Dread was the best Metroid I've played since Super and maybe the GBA titles. I absolutely loved it. It was just a great Metroidvania and a great Metroid game all rolled into one. Odyssey was a great Mario title. It was a really, really good follow up. And considering we're coming from a console where like Galaxy on the Wii, and we got two of them, which was pretty wild. We don't get that too often,
Right.
so you have to split them into those two categories. On the indie side, that's tough because there's a lot that I purchased on the Switch because it's the only way I can have a physical, and I like to collect, right? Like Sea of Stars. I bought a physical copy, but I played it on Steam. I didn't open my physical copy. I just collected my physical copy of that game, right? There's a lot. I mean, I have a really big Switch collection. You guys have seen my Switch show up.
I was going to be interested in what you say because it's such a big collection.
That's the problem, is there's all this stuff that sits in this indie category. There's not as much of a split anymore. A lot of those things come out on PC and other consoles now too. I tell you, one of my most guilty pleasure Switch games that I absolutely loved, and I believe you can play it on PC too, is Joe Deaver's Lone Wolf. I absolutely loved that game. It's a single player, it's a single character RPG, and played a demo of it once and just fell in love with that game.
I didn't realize they did a Switch release of that.
Yeah, and so I had to buy, I believe, a European physical release because I don't think we got it here in the States.
That's awesome.
But one of the Switch's benefits is if it supports that language, you can buy it from any country, right?
Raph, what games do you want to shout out here at the wake of the Switch?
Well, actually, I want to touch on a game that you actually already talked about, Breath of the Wild. You mentioned it earlier. Just very briefly because it's very important to me. This game really got me back into gaming. There was a period of time there where I was playing a lot of PC games. Just kind of like I didn't really play as many video games as I used to. And then I played Breath of the Wild, and it got me back into console gaming, got me back into the Switch. I fell in love with my Switch again, and I was really, really happy about that game. So it's very important to me as a gamer. But yeah, Mac, I also mostly play third-party indie games. Or even just third-party games in general. The first time I played the Resident Evil 1 remake was on the Switch, and it was fucking awesome. I played that game on a flight one time, and it scared the shit out of me while I was on the flight. I jumped, and the girl next to me was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
No, there's zombies on this plane.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But yeah, just to like name off a few here, and then I'll touch on the one that I think is my favorite Switch port that I've ever played. So obviously I played Islets on that. Fucking great game. I 100%ed that. Loved it. It's a great little Metroidvania. Darkwood, great survival horror game. The Messenger was another one I played on there, which was fucking incredible on a handheld format.
That a lot.
I play the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection a lot on the couch. I get to play Third Strike on the couch, which is super fun. And then, Shredder's Revenge, we all played that together. That kicked ass. That was a really good time.
Yeah.
Sea of Stars, I got that on there. Even Alien Isolation, which is like the best version of that game, is on the Switch. But the one that I want to say is probably my favorite game that I've played on the Switch, which is another indie port, was Animal Well. Because Animal Well lends itself so well to handheld gaming, especially when you've got a friend of yours that's playing it as well, like me and Mac playing that game together.
I feel like this is all kind of sad, though, that this is what we're talking about with the Switch, because this is all just good indie games that have come out.
But you know what, though? I will say, it's still Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. I fucking love that game.
Hell
We had a
yes.
great
Right.
time with that.
Hell yes.
Nintendo World Championship. I didn't hear anybody mention this yet, but I think that also was a really good fucking time. Like, I
It's
had a
fun.
blast playing that game with you guys.
Yeah.
And it is a good first party title. You mentioned Metroid Dread. Excellent fucking game. I have that
Yeah,
one as well.
it was.
Man, yeah. I love the Switch, man. I love this thing. It got me back into gaming in a way that no other console could.
Right. Mr. Venicore, what's your favorite Switch game? What are you playing on that bad boy?
Pokemon Switch, Let's Go Pikachu, exclusively with the Pokeball controller.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Peripherals for life.
Yeah, baby.
I played that entire game. I never touched a controller. I played that whole game with the
Oh,
Pokeball.
Hell
That
yeah.
is
The whole thing.
awesome.
That is.
My thing is, like, there are so many titles like that, like I kind of said, that I just didn't play, and I think that's what is the sad part, Buck. Like, like, did anybody play Pikmin 4?
No.
It's supposed to be great.
Can
Like,
I ask?
has anyone gotten Echoes of Wisdom?
Yes.
Did you
Yes.
play it?
Yeah,
No.
I've played it a bit. Princess M, my wife has been playing it a bit. It's
Kirby
really
and the
cool.
Forgotten Lands. I didn't
No.
get that.
This is too many games syndrome, though. This
Yeah,
isn't.
yeah.
This isn't the
No,
Switch's fault.
Well, this is we have to pick one opinion or the other, and the opinion I think is they do not release a lot of their first person titles. They will release like one Mario game that we got
Yeah.
on the Switch. There is one Kirby game. And it's, you know what I mean? But the problem
Yes.
is just like, I'm not buying them. I don't know what's wrong with. I could. There's not that many. It's just like
What's wrong with me?
there's like 4 games on here that I want to get that are supposed to be incredible. That I'm just
They
like, why
never
am I
go
not
on
buying
sale.
them?
It's
They're
true.
never
They
on
never
sale.
go on sale.
Exactly.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Did anybody else play Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee with the Pokeball by chance?
A little bit, and the kids did. I had the little charger for them and
Because
everything.
okay, if you've ever seen this thing before, you wrap the Pokeball around your wrist with a strap, and then you thread one finger, this little finger hole, through your middle finger, so the ball hangs like about right here.
Yeah.
And when you are ready to catch a Pokemon, you literally hit the button and you chuck the thing from your hand. And you physically throw it.
I
Of
love
course,
it.
it doesn't
Yes.
go flying, but because it's attached to a string. But
But
it
you can
was
feel it.
yeah, it's like this visceral experience of
I
you're
love that.
throwing the Pokeball, and it just was so fun, and it felt so good. And then, of course, there are no buttons. It's just the
Right.
stick, and you can also press the stick. That operated the whole game, and
So good.
I
it
love
was
it.
really something. I
That's
thought.
great. That's a good pick.
I think
It's
that's one
funny,
that,
Venny, because that's one of the games. So, like, I bought my Switch like secondhand from like a coworker for like $150, and
Nice.
yeah, it was a good deal. But it came with that game just in the Switch
Oh,
already. I never
that's
fucking
cool.
played it.
Oh, no.
It didn't even have
oh
the
man,
case
we
for
gotta
it.
open it up.
It didn't even come with a case for it, but I have it somewhere in here.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, Switch, I don't. Maybe if you get upgrades to all those games, I'd love to keep buying Switch games. I guess I got a lot to catch up on, but yeah, you're gonna be coming off of the entertainment center here at our house and getting replaced by your new brother, who's bigger and fancier and faster,
The
and
T1000.
sleeker.
Stop it! I'm
yeah.
having PTSD.
He's
Mac.
and I can't wait for it. But that, I believe, does it for the Switch's burial. I'm going to just say a quick prayer and then take a quick break, and then when we come
Okay.
back, we're gonna do our what else you got, and these guys are gonna spill their guts about their awesome trip to Japan. We'll be right back. We are back from our break, and we are at our What Else You Got, the segment of our show where we can bring to the table anything, be it TV, movies, video games. Normally, I go first, but today I would like to cede the floor to the Megabuck and Mr. Venicore because they have a massive report from Japan. Gentlemen, take it away.
Oh baby, where do we start, man?
This was Mr. Venicore's first trip to Japan. It was my 4th trip. We had a couple other friends that went with us, and we had a whole itinerary planned out ahead of time that everybody got to add things onto. And so I've just got a wonderful list of places that we can rattle off, and I'd love for Mr. Venicore to talk about his favorites in these.
Especially because it's your first time. I loved
yeah.
it. I can't wait to hear your reaction.
That was super fun for me because I got to go with a group of people who I was the only one that it was their first time. Everybody else had previously been. So
Ah.
that was neat because I got to just like follow them around like a excited puppy, and they knew what they were doing the whole
Yeah.
time.
That's the only
Yeah.
way to travel.
So we stayed in Akihabara, which as you guys know, is Nerd Central. There are literally 7 arcades within like a 4-block radius of where we stayed.
Damn.
5 different Gigos, a Game Panic, a Taito, and a Hey. I guess that's 8, huh? So there's a lot of
Shit.
fun stuff to play. We spent a lot of time playing a Gundam card game, which you guys heard me talk about last time I went to Japan. It's still out
you
over
brought your
there.
deck.
And all of us got like new cards and got into like the new meta of those.
Hell yeah.
And we would take up a whole row in either the basement of our arcade across the street or in the Hay. And the 4 of us would all play. We'd play with each other. You can battle with each other and against each other. We had a lot of fun with those. So just of note, some of the places we went, and then I want Venny to jump in with his favorites on these places we went to. We went to all the big cities: Shinjuku, Shibuya, Ikebukuro. Went over to Osaka, Mount Takao, and then we went to a couple of really fun locations in our town, like the Monster Hunter bar,
Cool.
which we
Oh,
have some
yes,
pictures
yes.
of. That was super cool because Monster Hunter, the new Wilds just came out, right? So Monster Hunter is like,
Did you try any of the food or drink?
oh God, yes,
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
we had
What was it?
reservations.
What'd you get?
I pre-ordered. You have to pre-order the meat platter ahead of time, and I
Okay.
did. So we had this giant platter of sausages and meats and everything else that looked just like it was
How was it?
out of that. Oh, that was really good. I thought the food there was pretty good, don't you think?
Oh, that's
The
pretty
food
good.
there was pretty good. I actually liked the food there better than I did the Final Fantasy
I
Eorzea
agree.
Cafe.
Yeah, but the
I thought
drinks were really
Monster
cool
Hunter-
there.
The drinks were really cool there.
The
yeah.
drinks,
Yeah,
they have a
you're
lot
right.
of themed drinks at the Final Fantasy Cafe, and every
Right.
time that you got a drink over there, they give you a fun little coaster. That was pretty cool.
Cute.
True.
Constant dopamine rush. We got to go to the Tsukiji Fish Market.
Oh,
man.
yes. I've been there.
That
yes.
was pretty cool.
What did you
like
think
a
of the? Did you try sushi there, Mr. Venicore?
Did he try
Oh.
sushi?
Oh yeah.
The fatty tuna, so good.
The man is part
So-
sushi.
I'm part sushi. My father was a commercial tuna fisherman for over 30 years, and
Oh,
some
shit.
of his fish actually made it over to Tsukiji Fish Market at various times in various markets. So for me, going there was kind of a pilgrimage because of just family, and I got to be honest with you. I had some of the best tuna in my entire life there that day,
Oh.
and it was such a big deal.
We-
It was such a big deal. I actually got a little emotional after eating some of the fatty tuna because both of my parents are passed. My mother recently passed, and that was just something I really wish I could have shared with them. That kind of sucks, but it was just it was a just lifetime bucket list kind of thing. I got it. It was so good. It was
Yeah.
so damn good.
We
so
had
satisfying.
a night. We had a night where him and I both ordered like pretty close to top shelf tuna. Like over there, food is very inexpensive. It's very cheap. Like
Mm.
those really nice tunas you're talking about, Mac, are like $1.25 a piece. One of the nights we both got like $4 a piece fatty tunas, and we actually took a picture, and we even used a Studio Ghibli filter for it that I gave you a picture of to show that it was both of us, and we literally both just like sat back like we were praying, like with our hands in our laps, just like this is so
And
So
it
that's
good.
wasn't
so
like
good that
it was
transcends you.
just our
Yeah.
natural reaction
Yeah.
to it. Like
Yeah.
just closed our eyes and just like leaned back like
It was
"Oh,
just a
wow."
food experience. It was just absolutely
It's just
amazing.
your body
It's just-
ingesting like the
Yeah.
best thing. You're just like, wow, there's
Yes.
everything in here. There's protein, and
basically,
fat, and
yeah.
acid, and everything's all good for
Yeah.
me. I'm getting so nourished.
even at the Konbini.
Honestly, the 7-Eleven snacks there are on.
Oh, you
point
mean
as
Sebun?
Mhm.
fuck. Sebun,
See,
Sebun.
Sebun.
So here's the thing: in Japan, they shorten everything. They everything. Nothing is said by its full name. Monster Hunter, just so you guys know, is Monhan. So we all
Monhan.
just call it Monhan now.
Ah.
So one of the jokes in Japan is it's almost impossible to find a trash can.
yes, that is
So by like
true.
we were there for almost 3 weeks. So by like day 4, we were like, man, I need a trash can. I need like a drop place to drop my bottle, which evolved into us coming up with a name for it and then shortening it, and that was Drobo. And I was like, guys, I need a Drobo.
Drobo.
Guys, can we find
That's
a
really
Drobo?
good.
It was it was
I-
pretty funny.
When we were walking, I was like, we need to come up with our own shortening of this. And so we started with bottle drop, Bodro.
So
Like,
funny.
no, it needs to be overly complicated. It's not going to be bottle drop. It's going to be drop off of bottle, which we would shorten to Drobo. And then it's
So
needed to
funny.
sound cooler. So we came up with Shin Drobo.
This is the
New-
if
new
it was
Drobo.
new bottle drop. This
Yeah.
is the kind of silly shit that we did while we were there for days and days
Beautiful.
and just went around at neat stuff. Mr. Venicore went on a Boss Coffee collection spree where he had to
Yes.
find them all.
The very
I
famous
did. I
canned
did. So
coffee.
if you've ever played Yakuza,
Yep.
you'll know that Boss Coffee is always available in the machines and vending machines and convenience stores and whatnot. So I actually have a log on my phone of each Boss Coffee that I had, along with notes and rating system. I
That
rated them
kicks
all,
ass.
and I
It
gotta
was
say,
hilarious.
I gotta say the top one for me was the premium Boss. The very
The
first
best
one
one.
I had was the best one. The hot
Rainbow's
Really?
still my favorite.
Rainbow is good if you like a sweeter one. If you like
Yeah.
less sweet, Premium Boss is the way to go. And if you want something strong, Craft Boss Italian Espresso Hot. Get it.
You'd make a video out of that.
So the hotel we stayed in, the
gonna do a
first
tier
floor
list.
of it, the first floor of it is actually a combini. So we just we were down every single day, and then we'd come back from a
Drunk
morning
as
trip,
hell.
and we'd go take a drink or go take a break, and then we'd also all of us texting in the text group like content corner beer ? Because our hotel is on that corner at the station where the old Big Red Sega arcade is.
Oh my god.
In that so it was like we would just stand out there for hours at sometimes, just go in the conveni, get a strong zero or a highball, come back out, drink and hang out.
That's so
It
fucking
was
cool.
So you'll
Goddamn.
love this, Mac. We had a Princess M and I had like a little bit nicer suite with like a balcony on the top floor of the hotel, overlooked the content corner, but it was big enough, at least in Japan, that these guys could come into the room, we could hang out. So we're hanging out in the room, drinking strong zeros and watching TV, and the 25th anniversary first episode of Hellsing comes on.
Like the
On
original
TV.
yeah.
On TV, the first OVA, and we're like, holy shit, is this Hellsing? And like, I'm literally, Mac, I'm racking my brain. The last time I saw this would have been on TV at AFO in like 2002.
That's really funny. I own
And
it
we
on
were-
DVD. I love that.
We were
fucking
like,
show.
holy, wasn't Ultimate, it was the original
Sat and
Hellsing.
we all just sat and watched it. We were like, okay, we're watching Hellsing
Oh,
now.
yeah.
No
We're
subtitles. All
watching
Japanese.
Hellsing. It didn't matter. Alexander comes on and he's
Yeah.
throwing knives at Alucard. We know what's going on. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Right.
I got. Do you want to tell the fun story about Mr. Venicore and the missing phone?
Oh, yeah. So I found this amazing American style karaoke bar, which we went to at a later night. But
You saw the video in the
was-
last episode.
it was
That was
darts.
the
it
second
was-
night.
Yeah, it was darts. It was beer pong, and it was like an Everything was kind of British or American style. What we're used to, not like a private room karaoke. I had a lot of fun that night. I came home really, really early at the wee hours of the morning, and I got up the next morning, and they had already like gone out and gotten breakfast and all that. And I wake up and I couldn't find my phone. I was like, I looked everywhere. I could not find my phone. So I kind of panicked because in Japan, you kind of need it for everything. You need it for the
Right.
train. You need it for conversion if you want to charge anything. And my credit card was also, and my ID were also in the pocket of the phone. So that was like a
Oof.
double.
All bad, nothing but bad.
Oh no,
Panic.
nothing but bad. So I'm like, okay, what do? I get my laptop out. I do find my phone because it's Apple, and I see that the phone map is leading me toward like this store next door, this multiple story store called the Atre. Long story short, we ask around. I get security guards involved. No one's seen the phone at the Atre.
He goes to the
Like,
police station.
I went to the police station in Akihabara and I filed a police report with Japanese police, for a missing item because that's what they recommended I do, and that's
Yeah.
really all I could do. And I'm like,
And then he makes a
damn.
sign in Japanese.
and then I get on my I figure I'm gonna pound the pavement myself. I get on, I do a Google Translate. Excuse me, I've lost my iPhone. Have you seen, blah blah blah. And I write it out on a note card in Japanese, and I'm like going around like showing people. And I even got a compliment a couple times. Your Japanese writing is
Oh no,
very
he
good.
got the Nihongo Jozu des. You get that a lot when you're
Yeah,
trying to
right.
speak Japanese
like
people.
Google.
So-
Anyway,
Yeah.
I get back on my computer, and the only other thing I can think of is I gotta message the group. I gotta
Yeah,
see if
we
I
don't
can
know
get some
where
help.
he is. We just know he was out till like 4 or 5 in the morning drinking, and it was like
I
we
was in
haven't
the
seen
room.
him,
I was right there the whole
but we
time.
didn't know. And
So
it was
I
3
messaged
p.m. by this
Buck.
time.
Yeah, I messaged Buck on Discord, and I'm like, Buck, I'm
Yeah.
in the room. I can't find my phone.
And I'm in
And
the
he's like,
elevator, and I'm like, holy shit.
yeah. And he's like, where you at? I'm like, yeah, give my room number. Knock, knock, open up. I'm like, yeah, guys, I can't find my phone. I went to the police station, blah, blah.
He
And
tells us the whole story.
Brad comes in, and he goes, well, is that nobody's phone? Is that is that
Brad goes, whose phone is that under your chair? After hearing the whole story. And Mr. Venicore goes, oh, son of a bitch.
That's so funny.
I pick it up and I go, you've got to be kidding me.
You gotta be.
And they both hit the floor, just
Oh my
dying.
5 seconds
God.
later, our other friend walks
And
into the room, and we're both
I
like
hit the
embracing
floor,
and laughing. Oh my
dying
God.
of laughter.
Yeah.
Just
Now it's funny because we
now
found
it's
it.
funny.
Oh my
Now,
God.
now even I think it's funny because everything's fine now.
Yeah. So Mr. Venicore, our DM of all time, has learned the party rule number 1: do not
Party rule
split the
number 1.
party.
You never split the party because if
Horror
you split
movie
the party
rule
in
number one,
Japan,
too.
you will end up at the police station.
So
That's
funny.
that
That's
is
the
the
moral
best
of the
part of the
story.
story, honestly, that you filed a police report and then it was
So
My
for the
favorite
rest of the
I've gone
trip,
for hours.
for the rest of the trip, the running joke was, don't like, hey, I'm gonna go do. Don't go off on your own, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up at
You're
the
gonna have
police
to call the
station.
cops.
This was like day 4 of like 18 that this
That is
happened. You know,
so
Oh
like,
yeah,
goddamn funny.
I'm glad it happened early. Got it out of my system.
right.
Get Interpol involved.
That's
Like
funny.
a loop.
That was great.
You guys want to see some swag?
Oh yeah.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I got some fun stuff that I bought for myself. This is not just a mimic and not just a Dragon Quest mimic,
Oh.
but a Dragon Quest mimic tissue box.
Ooh, that's cute as fuck.
I like that one. That's fun, right?
What didn't I say before you go? The best stuff is the stuff you wouldn't imagine would exist.
I know you think so.
I think
That
I
is
pressured
on
him
there.
into getting that one. I'm glad he
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, I know. I got last time I went to Japan, I got a Gundam base workout towel. This time I got a Monster Hunter Wilds one because
Cool.
Wilds is so popular right now. So I got
Nice.
to add to my cool nerdy workout stuff. Mr. Venicore got video of this. I won in a UFO catcher in ASEAN from Final Fantasy 14.
That's
Yeah,
nice. I
yeah.
don't know what that is. Cool.
It's a good bad guy.
All right.
We got a little job stone from the Square Enix cafe. We were staying right above one of the Square Enix cafes, and it closed down on the 31st. So we got to get there right before it closed.
Nice.
We went to the Warhammer cafe in Japan there, and a couple of our friends, we play, guys know we play Kill
Yeah.
Team. I picked up a shirt and some other stuff. I got a lot of nerdy shirts I'm going to be wearing over the next 4 or 5 episodes. Keep an eye out for them. I got this PlayStation 1 at
Very
Cosplay
nice.
that I'm
Nice.
wearing. But we took our Kill Teams over there, and we actually played Kill Team in the Japanese store there. The manager, who was a New Zealander, so spoke English.
Yeah.
Was
a
like,
Kiwi.
Oh, so you guys are going to come
You
play?
guys
Yeah,
like
can we
in
reserve it?
Japan?
Yeah, exactly. And he was, it was like, so can we reserve a table to play? Yeah, no problem. He goes, oh, where are you guys from around here? Da da da. No, we're from America. We're from Florida. You came to Japan and you brought your Kill Teams with you to play Kill Team in our store? And we're like, yeah. And he turns to us and goes, respect.
Wow. Should have taken
Nerds.
some pictures.
Nerd. We did. I have pictures.
Okay,
for you of all
cool.
that.
Perfect.
Another UFO thing I got was a Rathlos from the new
Alrighty,
Monster Hunter.
nice.
It's just like super chibi fun. We got tons of snacks, right? Me and Mr. Venicore were able
Tons
to
of
stock up
snacks.
on our
Snacks.
Sakeru gummies, which is super fun.
Long gummy.
You will love this one, Mac. This was already assembled, and I bought it for $7 at a used game shop. It's a ball from Gundam.
Ooh, nice.
But
Is
already
it a model that's
assembled.
just already assembled, you said?
Yes.
Ah.
And it was like $7. I'm like, well, that's worth its weight in everything to me because I don't have to put it together, right? And we got a lot of gashapons, like our favorite ones, like a little aerial. But check this one out. This is how big Japan's gashapon game is. Kids, if you haven't turned on your Spotify video, turn it on now. This is a little CRT TV.
Cool.
That's a cool gashapon, right? Comes with a little VHS tape. What happens if I pop the VHS tape in?
Oh, man.
Nice.
What? It turns on and has a little cartoon on
That's
the
cute.
image there. I
Dang,
didn't forget
you got that out of
guys.
a vending machine?
I
Shit.
know, for like a couple bucks.
Cute.
I didn't forget you guys. I got you guys some stuff. I'm a little embarrassed because Raf's is a gashapon, and our wonderful cat Wesker has managed to lose it somewhere in the game room here, so I have to find it. Princess Emma's over here right now, off camera, like looking for it frantically for me. But
Cats are great.
to open it up, you got to come over and get it. So,
Yeah.
Venicore is right. In Japan, especially in Akiba, stuff cycles constantly. We thought we would see the same things over and over again every day because we were there for 3 weeks. Sure as shit, some of these things come out. It would be on the floor. Some of these things come out and they're gone like a week later. They get bought up. They're just not there, and then they re-show up in the
They
resale.
get moved every day. They shuffle these things up.
So I saw this one that I'm like, oh, that'll be a good one for Raph. I'll pick it up later. Mistake number one. And I was like, oh, it's in a gashapon machine. Saw it in another store. Mistake number two. Didn't get anything. And went, ah, crap. Now I have to go on a manhunt for this thing for Raph. So the one benefit thing was cool is that rather than getting the gashapon one and getting a random one, I got to pick the one that he would really like. And it is a Chibi Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake
Oh,
with the crocodile head mask on.
Oh
Nice.
man, okay, yeah,
It's awesome,
that was
dude.
worth
Sick,
it.
nasty.
Oh, man,
The
thank
best
you.
keychain you'll ever get.
Holy shit.
Incredible. Thank
So,
you.
if you guys don't know, Mac's birthday is coming up soon, and buying stuff for your friends in Japan is one of the best thing, and your brother. So I bought some cool stuff for him. The first one is I bought him a little statue of Iggy,
Oh,
shit.
baby. My favorite JoJo
which
character.
I think you'll like a lot. I got you a shirt that Mr. Venicore picked out.
I now have enough. I got to get all my statues behind me in my background.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Mr.
man.
Venicore picked this out. So at the Cospa shop, they have a whole aisle that's all like really cool, exclusive Evangelion merchandise. And this is the one that we picked out for you.
Mhm. Hold on. You got to
What does it say?
back it up a little bit.
This is the end credits scene that says, "Get set for lots of special goodies coming up next time," with Misato on it.
I love that.
Amazing.
You remember Sate?
Remember?
Savisu, that like the very
Yeah,
end
that's
of
what it
every
says.
episode.
It
That's
says-
what they would say.
It says Sabisu Sabisu.
Damn. That's a hard ass deep cut. Holy shit.
We thought you would like that one.
We thought you
I got a shirt from the same shop. It's Unicorn Overlord. It's got all the different job sprites
Cool.
Nice.
on the shirt.
Before I show you your last present, I'm going to show you the coolest pickup that I got from the Gundam shop. This
Oh, yeah.
Char,
Oh,
the Red Comet,
Oh
So
shit.
good.
fucking
Yeah.
sweatshirt.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
dude.
God
He was
damn.
hesitating because it didn't have a zipper, but we were like,
Well,
No,
no, this one
dude.
does.
You
It's
get-
because it's an
oh,
XL,
it does.
but
Oh.
Japanese sizes, it like we weren't sure because I normally wear a large. I absolutely love this thing.
That
I'm
is
so
a
excited.
Beautiful ass hoodie.
He wore
Holy
that for
shit.
like most of the
Gorgeous.
trip,
This-
so
this
we'd be
is-
able to pick him out in red.
Yeah, this is
point.
one of those things where like you went into a shop and who
Nobody
knows at
wears
what
color
point
there.
they had it. It was the only one that they had. Like that's a Japanese thing. Like you got this in stock? Like yeah, right there. No, I see the one you have. Do you have it in stock? Yeah, right there, that one.
That's it.
Mm.
But Mac's last one was one that I agonized over because I love these. I wanted to pick them up, and this meant so much to him that I thought this would be really, really freaking cool to get for him. And sorry, it's another thing for your statue shelf. An Ippo Manouchi.
Oh,
And Dendroid.
Makunochi.
baby.
Makunochi-san.
Holy shit. God damn, that is beautiful.
I
fucking
didn't know
love
you
it,
were
dude.
into Ippo. I love that show.
Yeah, I don't think me and Raph are going to get to our what else you got, but mine was going to be that my USA official coaching passport finally came in, so I'm a certified boxing coach officially.
No way.
Yes, god damn,
that's
that is
amazing.
amazing.
Wow.
I thought you'd
Thank
like
you.
that.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes,
Early.
happy
I'll-
birthday.
I'll-
Say something real quick. I mean, I brought some gifts and souvenirs home. Obviously, a lot of stuff for the kids and my wife, and who's really into like coffee and chocolates. So mine were mostly like sweets and treats and little things like that, and JoJo Gashapon toys. But one thing I bought for the office, if you've got your Spotify turned on or YouTube,
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
it's actually this little guy right here.
It's cute,
Um,
man.
you can barely see the mist coming out of it, but I will unplug it and hold it up to the camera real quick. This was from the Ghibli store at Odaiba in Diver City. This is a Kiki's delivery service. Gigi the cat.
So
And-
damn cute.
It's Gigi the cat on a little table with a coffee cup and pancakes, but this is a mister. So the coffee cup
I love it.
constantly puts out, mist. So it
Right, so
looks
it
like
looks
a
like
steaming cup
steam.
of coffee.
They had
It's
quite a few of those. I'm so glad. Sometimes
So
it's hard to
fucking
get this
cute.
man to buy stuff. Sometimes it's either an insta buy, like the little JoJo guitars, or he's like, no, I'll think about it for a year. Like, dude, we're not coming back here. So
I had to get this one.
That is tight as hell.
Yeah.
Well, goddamn, gentlemen, that is a big ass book report on the land of the rising sun. Is it racist to say that? Can you say that?
no, spoilers. Racism doesn't even exist in Japan.
All right, perfect. Well, I love it. We are running long, so we will get to the things that me and Raph have next week, I think.
Yeah. That's fine.
Because that was more than enough. We thank you, dear viewer or listener, for coming this far, because you have reached
Yes.
the end of the episode. Do us a huge favor. Like and subscribe if you have reached this point and have not done so, because you have earned it. And if you are just listening to this podcast app, don't forget what Buck said. This is a video podcast on Spotify and YouTube, so you can take it out of your pocket and watch us. We've got clips attached to our episodes from Spotify, so if you're streaming through their little version of shorts, you'll see those on there. If you want to reach out to us via email with any questions, comments, or games you want us to play, you can reach us at gametreasurepodcast@gmail.com. Head on over to our link tree, because guess what? You can now buy our merch straight from our link tree. That's right. I set that up. So just go
Cool.
to linktree/the GTP, so you can buy our shirts and our mugs and our etc. And while you're there, you can also find a link to our Patreon/the GTP, where you can subscribe and gain access to our bonus content, which right now is our UFO 50 deep dive series, which we need to record another episode of soon.
Nice.
Anyhow, Linktree/the GTP. We want to thank Crunkwitch for the use of our theme song, Clash of the Droids. You can find their music on Apple Music, Spotify, and anywhere you can find music on the internet. And of course, we want to thank RetroGameTreasure.com, sponsor of the Retro Zone, owned and operated by the Megabuck himself. Retro Game Treasure is a subscription box service that sends you customized boxes of retro video games that are in accordance to the games that you like to collect. What do I mean by that? What I'm saying is, when you make your profile at retrogametreasure.com, you tell them what consoles you collect and what kinds of games that you like. Earlier, we were talking about a Project Overkill. It's an for mature isometric shooter game. So these are things you would select, and then Buck is going through and sees that you own a PlayStation 1, and he gets you a copy of that game. At the end of the month, you get this cute little box that looks like one of the treasure chests from The Legend of Zelda. You open it up, and there's retro games in there that are refurbished, guaranteed to work. It is a incredible service that is like magic. And not only do you get to keep these games to add to your collection forever, Buck keeps track of the games that you have in your collection, not just the games that he's given you, but the games you already have, to make sure that you never get a repeat game. And he makes collecting for new consoles easy, because they sell consoles. They have a console shop page you can go to, order an N64, go over to your profile, select N64, boom, you're getting N64 games now. Takes all the hassle out of collecting games. So start collecting retro games the easy way today with retrogametreasure.com. Buck, I almost forgot. Do you have a list of new subscribers that you'd like to read off for us? Please do that.
We please welcome James Tucci, Sean Duffy, Eric Marshall, John Mua, Eric Vaughn, Brendan Marquet, Marie Davis, Matthew Nelson, and Gabriel Azakar.
Ooh, a long one from being on vacation, I bet.
It's really long.
My name is Max Stein, and I love the Game Treasure podcast. It's so bad.
It's so bad.